Good morning, top of the morning, y'all. It's been a minute since I hopped on. Look, this video is going to be kind of short because my battery's about to die. And I'm on my way to work, doing more credit counseling, helping small business owners get in position. And this morning, I want to go through a couple of steps to help anyone that's a newbie to ensure that you're in position before even going for funding. This is going to be your $50,000 to $150,000 checklist. So let's get into it. The first thing you always must do when you're going for funding, you got to know what's on your credit reports. That's always going to be the first thing. Why are we doing that? Because that's the exact thing that the banks are going to be looking at, especially if you're going for any type of no-doc product. All no-doc products come with a personal guarantee, meaning they're going to be looking at your personal credit, and if for some reason you default on that loan, you default on the line of credit or that credit card, that thing is going to pop up on your credit report. So we have to look at our personal credit first to make sure that your credit profile is built out and structured properly. So what does that look like? As far as the credit score, always look at the FICO score, never the Vantage score. So you only want to get your credit score directly from Experian, TransUnion, Equifax, or MyFICO. Those are the only sources you really want to deal with. Any other source, you want to make sure that it says that it's a FICO score. Credit Karma is not a FICO score. Credit Sesame is not a FICO score. Don't rely on those. You will walk into the bank and get laughed out. So that's that. Make sure you have a 700 plus FICO. If you're not at a 700 plus FICO, don't bother to even submit an application, right? Go back to the drawing board, work with my team. We can get you together, get your credit over 700 so you can go back to the bank properly, right? Big stepping in that thing. Let's talk about that credit report, because everything, if you're doing a no-doc situation, is going to be based on a personal guarantee. So they're always going to be checking your credit report, right? My name is Jamal, the Credit Protector. I help small business owners and entrepreneurs get access to capital. I help you structure your credit profile, clean your credit profile, and structure your business so that you're in proper position for funding. What's going on, y'all that's checking in? Go ahead and share this out with other people. So the next thing we want to talk about, and I don't have a lot of time because my phone is actually about to die while I'm driving to work. I should have charged it last night, but I didn't. I didn't charge it at all. Uh-oh, traffic jam. Here we go. So let's get into what your credit profile. Netherlands, what's going on? What's going on? Thanks for tapping in. I heard Netherlands is a beautiful place. So let's talk about this credit profile, right? With your credit profile, especially if you're going for funding, whether it's your first round, your second round, your 100th round, if you're still going for no-doc funding, is going to be based off of your personal credit score and your relationship with the bank. Let's talk about that credit. And I know I like to dive right in. It's because I'm low on battery. So I'm skipping all of the motivational, mindset stuff, right? We know that we got to have the right mindset for this, because without it, you'll end up putting yourself in a shit ton of debt with absolutely no way to escape from it. It happened to me the first time that I got my first $150,000 in credit. I totally blew it. I was doing everything but being a good steward. Luckily, because of all the mentorships that I'm in, I learned how to turn that trial and tribulation into a triumph, right? I'm still able to build relationships with the bank. I'm still able to get access to capital. This is after having credit cards shut down on me. This is even after being sued by different banks, right? Because when you're in this game, you're going to make mistakes. That's just what it is. I'll never hop on here and say, oh, I'm perfect. You know, I did everything right. I've had amazing credit since I was born. Nah, I didn't even know. My first credit card, I maxed it out and charged it off. That was when I was like 18. My first time getting over $100,000 in credit. I didn't know how to properly invest. I didn't have the mindset to properly invest. Did I invest in some things? Did I make some money? Absolutely, definitely. I definitely made, you know, $60,000 by leveraging my credit cards. But it's not just about how much you make. It's also about how much you spend. So if I made 50, 60,000, but I still ended up spending 200,000, right? That's part of the growth. That's part of the lesson that I had to learn for myself. That made me go back and study my own habits and the habits of others even more. That made me want to go back. So now I'm actually studying to become an accredited financial coach. Why? Because I needed to ingrain these things and these new behavioral patterns into my own mind, so that as I'm rebuilding, as I'm scaling back up my own profile, I don't blow the bag again. So let's get into this credit profile. You want to make sure that you have enough age. Your credit profile should be at least 5 years old. That's the first thing. Next thing, credit mix. That's how many different kinds of accounts you have on your credit report. You want to have at least 5 accounts. Out of those 5 accounts, 2 of the accounts need to be credit cards with a credit limit of $5,000 or more. The next thing you want to look at is how many hard pulls or inquiries you have. You want to have less than 2 hard inquiries showing up on your credit report by the time you're going for funding. So if you have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, you know, if you went and bought a car and you got 20 hard inquiries, you need to work with, you can work with my team or whoever you want to work with to get all of those hard inquiries deleted immediately. The next thing you want to look at is, you have credit cards, what's your usage on the credit cards, right? On your credit cards, you do not want to have more, you do not want to be using more than 30% of the credit limit. We call that credit utilization. You want that to be 30% or less, preferably 0 by the time you go for funding. You want to have all that in place before you submit any application. And by that time, you should be at like a 720 if you hit all of those marks, right? Should be around a 720. There we go. Now that you're at 720, we're in position. We're in position. Now that we're in position, we're going to start off on the personal side. Remember, we're going for funding. You're saying to me that most people, you want to go for no docs, right? You want to have as little or use or have to show as little documentation as possible. So that's definitely going to require both personal guarantees if you're going for business credit cards and just good old-fashioned personal funding. So some personal funding cards that you can use to get started. You want to start with credit cards that will approve you with a soft pull. Some of those credit cards include Discover, Capital One, which is the same company now because Capital One bought Discover. Apple, right? The Apple card you get with a soft pull. You can even go to SoFi. SoFi will pre-qualify you for a personal loan with a soft pull. You can go to Upgrade. Upgrade will pre-qualify you with a soft pull. Upstart will pre-qualify you with a soft pull. And even Prosper will pre-qualify you with a soft pull. Now, each of these lenders will vary, giving you anywhere from, $5,000 all the way up to $75,000 each. All right, if you max this out, it can go up to $75,000 each.
Speed trap reported ahead. Let's not set that thing off. They never get my good side.
All right, so I'm gonna run through that list again. Upstart does a pre-qualification soft pull. Upgrade does a pre-qualification soft pull. Apple Card, the Discover Card, Capital One, SoFi, and Prosper all do pre-qualification soft pulls for funding. All of those are going to be personal, right? There's another credit union, Key Point Credit Union, that does a soft pull to pre-qualify you. American Express does a soft pull to pre-qualify you. This will give you an idea of how much you'll actually be able to get in funding without ever getting a hard increase. That's going to be the very first step. If you're going through these soft pulls, I just gave you about 8 or 9 of them, or you're getting super high interest rates. That's a message, right? That's a message that you may not be ready for funding. What you're going to need to do is go back to the drawing board, take a look at your credit profile, and work with someone like myself, my team, or whoever else you want to work with to figure out why aren't you getting pre-qualified right now. Because it's all about the strategy, right? Once you're pre-qualified for those personal loans and personal credit cards, you accepted them, they're appearing on your profile, you're going to let those sit in season for 6 to 12 months. All right, 6 to 12 months. By now, you've already got $50,000. Right? At this point, you've already got your first $50,000 in personal credit, and you up. You're going to want to steward those. You're going to sit in the garden for a little bit, 6 to 12 months. You want to make sure you're using the credit cards, paying them off in full every month. Any loans that you got, you want to make sure you're making all your monthly payments on time or early. And you're going to go back and, when possible, remove the hard inquiries, right? That's going to put you in position. In 6 to 12 months, you'll be in position for round 2, which is when we start going for business funding. For those that are listening, you're like, damn, 6 to 12 months. Absolutely, 6 to 12 months. Credit is a long-term game. If you're here in America, you're going to have credit for the rest of your life, unless they decide to eliminate credit altogether and move on to a tokenization process, which they are trying to get to, right? But you're going to have to be a good steward, right? Be a good steward of those accounts for 6 to 12 months so that the banks can feel comfortable giving you a bigger bag. That's just how it go, right? That's just how it's going to be. You got to earn your way to larger limits. And that's going to be the process you're going to follow for your initial, $50,000 to $150,000. All right. My name is Jamal, the Credit Protector. If you need assistance with that particular process, whether if you don't understand steps or you need further guidance, book a call with me. All the links are in the description of the channel. They will be in the description of this video once it posts. And I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great one.